Hi, I'm Lorna Kleidman. Let's get into the windmill, which is a fabulous full body exercise that strengthens your hamstrings, your glutes, your obliques, your spinal extensors, and the stabilizers of your shoulder. So let's get into some mobility first to warm up. One of the things I love to do is a thoracic rotation from a quadruped position. So take one hand, thread it under the other arm, rotating, and then bend your elbow, reach it to the sky, follow with your eyes. So you do 8 to 10 reps of these. Rotate, and then rotate the other way. The other side looks like this, reaching, rotate, reaching, rotate. And then another great one is a sacroiliac stretch for your low back. So bring your hands a little bit wider than your shoulders. Bring your feet and knees together. Shifting your hips to your left, and then look to your right elbow, bend it slightly. Now, if you're hypermobile, don't take the stretch into the full range that you have. Just make it smaller. And you're going to get a stretch on the left sacroiliac. And then you're going to shift your hips to the right, bend your left elbow. Here, during this mobility warm-up, you have the opportunity to feel if one side is tighter than the other, which will happen with most of us, and just give that tighter side a little more TLC, maybe a little more time in the stretch. And then one more stretch you can do is figure 4, lying on your back, crossing your ankle over your knee, and either putting this foot against a wall or grabbing under the hamstring, and just hold for a few breaths on each side. All right, so let's come to standing. Grab 2 bells if you have them, accessible, and either same weights or one can be heavier, one can be lighter. I'll show you how to work with that. If you have a block or a book, that would be great. I love a block. You can also use a book because it has 3 sides. One is the flat side, medium height, and then tall height. Set up your stance with your feet on a 45-degree angle, and your trunk will face in the same direction. So if you're mirroring me, you're going to face towards your 1 or 130. This way. Let's put the block on the high position inside this foot. Reach your left arm straight up and your right hand inside your right inner thigh with your palm facing forward. You're going to rotate to face me and then send your hip back. Your left hip is going to hinge like a deadlift. As you hinge, the front knee bends. Let's try that again. You start facing between your feet, open to me, butt goes back, front knee bends, and you're reaching down toward the block. As you look up, face up, touch, and then stand, rotate back between your feet. Again, open to me. The butt goes back like a deadlift as the front knee bends. Rotate your trunk, touch, stand, and face between your feet. One more time. Rotate, hinge. The lower your trunk goes, the more that hip has to go back. The flexion of the hip is causing your trunk to lower. Let's try the other side. So now you're facing toward your 10 or 1030. Lifting your right arm up, left hand inside your left inner thigh. And you're opening toward me, sending your right hip back and looking up. Now the looking up isn't necessarily to look at that bell once you have the bell in your hand. It's not necessarily to keep the bell from falling or something like that. It's more about looking up to keep your spine extended. So it's the position of your neck and your head that keeps your spine extended when you look up. Same thing with the Turkish get-up. Now, one thing here, don't flex over on this left side. Keep it long as you can. touch, stand, and then rotate to face between your feet again. Okay, so let's go with one weight on the floor instead of the block. Going back to our first position, keep your left arm up, and I want you to feel that you're moving your body around this stable arm. Facing between your feet, open, send your hip back, hand on the handle. Now pick it up. Oh yeah, there's that work on that standing, hinging hip. Again, open to me, send your butt back, keep this arm reaching up, faces up, and touch. Let's go again. Stand. Rotate, send the butt back, bend the front knee, but keep the weight in that back hip. And one more time, stand with it. And butt goes back. And done. Good. Okay, so now finally, let's add a weight overhead. If you have two different weights, put the light one overhead, keep the heavier one on the ground. So either snatch this up, or you can swing clean and press it, push press it, depending on the weight that you're using. Again, we're going to keep this arm stable, so feel like you're suctioning this humerus into the shoulder socket. All right, and you're moving your body underneath this stable arm. So let's open to me, send the butt back, bend the front knee, you're looking up to keep your spine extended, stand, and you're facing between your feet. Rotate again, butt goes back. Breath in. One more. Butt goes back, breath in. Put it down, and that's it. Good. All right, so if one side feels different, awkward, tighter than the other, again, you're human, we all have that. So make sure that you do a thorough warm-up and maybe practice with that side without the weights first, or just with the weight on the bottom, so you can get a little more mobility into those areas of your hip, your thoracic spine. Give it a try.